It's no longer news that the 2023 African Games in Accra, Ghana has ended with Team Nigeria finishing second with a total of 121 medals. What, however, news is that Sports Minister John Eno has promised that preparations for the next Games in 2027 in Egypt will begin immediately, and of course, the preparations for Paris 2024 Olympics will also commence. To me, that is beautiful. Hello there and welcome. This is Sports Reel on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Bade Adeleye. As always, we're at the ever beautiful Moshood Abiola National Stadium here in Abuja. I call it Mansa, and on the reel today we'll be talking about the just ended African Games in Ghana. We'll also talk wrestling, as Nigeria recently got more slots. I'm talking about 5 slots when it comes to qualification for the Paris 2024 Olympics. And of course, we talk football. The Super Eagles of Nigeria are set to take on their Malian counterparts later today in an international friendly. And of course, a lot is happening when it comes to the Super Falcons of Nigeria behind the scenes. We'll bring that to you on their show on this program. And of course, we'll talk about the Nigeria Premier Football League. Yes, it didn't go on break, so we'll talk more about that and give you more interesting stories on the show today. You can see, it's a total package. So, let me welcome you again to the show. Okay, straight to business. Let's begin with the just concluded African Games in Accra, Ghana, as Team Nigeria to the Games returned to the country Sunday, and of course the touchdown at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, and of course the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Of course, Sports Minister John Eno was very much on hand to welcome the Abuja team back to the country. And of course, it conveyed the message of President Bola Tinubu to the athletes. And there, he promised that Team Nigeria would begin their preparations for the next edition of the Games in Egypt immediately. All right, let's remind you that Team Nigeria finished second at the just concluded Games with a total of 121 medals, made up of 47 gold medals, 34 silver, and of course 40 bronze medals. Quite interesting. And they finished second overall with that, with South Africa coming third. What an outing for Team Nigeria. Let's now talk more when it comes to the just concluded African Games in Accra, Ghana, as we have joining us live now the President of the Nigeria Weightlifting Federation, Dr. Ibrahim Abdul. Doctor, if you can hear me loud and clear, very much interesting to have you on the show today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, quite interesting. Welcome, Mr. President. Let's get straight to the business. Obviously, we're talking the African Games. It was a good outing for your team, according to what many have been saying. But for you, how would you rate your performance in Ghana?
And let me be honest with you, we prepared for it. It was hard work for us in weightlifting. We always attribute most of the things we do to hard work. It's not like every other games. It's you and the podium, and then you have to compete and win within with the people you compete with. And so, because we know this, we prepare early. We had our early campaign, and the athletes knew what was expected of them, and they went there and they made us proud.
All right, interesting. Talking about performance, talking about, what happened there in Ghana, it's quite interesting to know that, your federation, weightlifting, gave Nigeria a total of 32 medals, made up of 16 gold, 10 silver, and 6 bronze medals. Quite interesting, giving Nigeria 1/3 of, the gold medal haul. For you, how did you feel about that? And how was that, possible for your team?
For me, I feel very good. We are not there yet. We had more expectation. We're looking at winning close to 20 something gold medals based on our preparation. You see, once you work very hard, you have the records, and then you know that you can do this from home before you go to nowadays. Sport is a science. It's not like what it used to be. You go there and believe and think God. Everybody worships God, and so when you work very hard, you know that okay, this is what I'm doing, and this is what my opponents are doing, and this is what we're going to do. We went with the expectation of more than 20 gold medals, but it wasn't really. It did not go according to our plan. And the reason is because on our first day, we had an athlete that removed her shoulder. She couldn't, and she was a sure gold medalist. She would have won for us 3 gold. But again, we proposed, and it wasn't our day. And so one or two of such technicalities also affected us. And so we are more than 70% satisfied. When you go to school and you score up to 70%, you're a little bit satisfied. But for us in weightlifting, our standard is very high. The standard is more than a 90. So we're looking at more than 20 something. But at least we thank God, and we're back home. We're back to the gym, and then we start to prepare again for the next 4 years.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Dr. Ibrahim Abdul, President, Weightlifting Federation of Nigeria. Many thanks for joining us on Sports Rule, and of course we've been discussing, your performance at the African Games in Ghana. So many thanks for joining us on The Reel today, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
All right, quite interesting having the president of the Nigeria Weightlifting Federation on the show today. But when it comes to presidents, we're not done. Let's quickly join another president talking about the president of the Nigeria Rugby Football Federation, Dr. Ademolare. Doctor, if you can hear me, welcome back to Nigeria, and thank you for joining us on Sports Reel this morning.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful, beautiful, interesting. You went together, returning the team, talking about the Lady Stallions after a very long absence at the Games, and not the best of outings for them. But for you, how would you take that experience?
Yeah, thank you very much. For Nigeria to have gone to Accra, Ghana, we went, we saw, and we conquered. For those Nigerians that are saying probably the second position wasn't good enough, we have to take many things into consideration. Egypt took part in almost all the sports. Nigeria took part in only 25. And for us to get that number of medals in totality, I think we should give kudos to those athletes. And we should say a very big thank you to the federal government through the Federal Ministry of Sports Development. The minister did a yeoman's job. The permanent secretary supported him very well. They were in Ghana, and even on arrival, they were waiting for us at the airport. The performances were excellent, I will tell you that. Probably maybe for rugby, that is just going for the first time. All the other sports, we got what we actually deserved. We did very well, and we can only do better after this time around.
Obviously, Mr. President, just like you said, that experience, will come in handy for them. It will come in handy when it comes to future engagements for them. That's quite beautiful. But, a very quick one. The African Games very much over now. What next for the Lady Stallions, and of course the other national team, talking about the men, the Black Stallions. So what next when it comes to the Rugby Football Federation?
Yeah, thank you very much. Like I said earlier on, we need to say thank you to the Honorable Minister and the management of the ministry for giving us that opportunity to attend that competition. It was the first in the last 40 years. And these girls came around with the limited period of time. It was confirmed that we were very competitive, but we can do better. And we intend bringing these girls together. There's an arrangement we've made already that the crop of the girls that went to Accra we'll be having at least bi-monthly camping programs a week. Also, we were able to agree with presidents of Cameroon, Ghana, Togo, and Benin on bilateral programs for us to be at par with most of these other countries. They have really gone far, and Nigeria is just waking up to catch up with them. But with proper planning and execution, I'm sure we'll get there.
That's quite an interesting one, Mr. President, and of course, we must say that was a great one coming from your team, knowing that, Nigeria got represented in rugby, which is not a popular sport when it comes to this part of the world. Many thanks for joining us on Sports Reel today, and of course, we're wishing you all the best as you try to raise the bar when it comes to rugby football in Nigeria. We wish you all the best. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
All right, quite interesting. I've been speaking with the president of the Nigeria Rugby Football Federation, Dr. Ademolare, talking about their experience as they just concluded African Games. Now, let's talk about another federation, this time Nigeria Wrestling Federation. Come on, trust the wrestlers to always deliver for Nigeria. They did so well at the African Games. We do remember on a Sunday when they won 6 gold medals. They qualified for 6 finals and won all the 6 finals. Quite interesting. Immediately after their participation at the African Games, it was straight to Egypt, where they participated in the African Oceanian qualifiers for the Paris 2024 Olympics. And let's let you know that despite setting a target of just 4 wrestlers to qualify for the Games, Nigeria got a massive number of 5 Nigerian wrestlers qualified to, join Odunayo Adekoroye, on the train to Paris 2024, meaning that 6 Nigerian, wrestlers have now qualified for the Paris 2024 Olympics. And of course, the team returned to Abuja via the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport on Monday. And of course, we were there to also be with them. They came in the company of the president of the federation, Daniel Igali, and of course, the general secretary, Megidan Sama. And of course, it was interesting to see the controller general of customs joining them. He led the team to receive them, back to the country.
I'm very, very, very glad because I'm a Nigerian, and this wonderful set of Nigerians have done us very, very proud. Irrespective of the circumstances, the difficulties that they experienced in going, until about a week, we weren't even sure that we were going to get the resource that we needed to be in this tournament. But in spite of this, we did very well in Accra, we did very well in Alexandria, and we can only look forward that we would also do well in Paris since we have picked the tickets.
We went with a target of qualifying at least 4 athletes. We qualified 5. We wanted more, obviously, but of course met our targets. So I couldn't be happier for these athletes. They showed real grit, showed real determination. The journey now is to see how we can get ourselves prepared for the long journey to the Olympics proper.
Interesting to know that the wrestlers will always deliver for Nigeria. All right, enough done when it comes to combat sports now. Let's talk football, and this time, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, as we go behind the scenes to bring up, interesting things when it comes to them. It is time for the MTN Super Falcons show for today. Take it away.
Congratulations to Coach Chris Danjuma and the girls for their efforts at the African Games. They did their best and got a silver medal in the women's football event after losing 2-1 to host Ghana in the finals. Hello there, beautiful people, and welcome to another fresh and new episode of the MTN Super Falcons show. My name is Osereme Inekbenebo. Now, in case you did not already know, this show is proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 telecommunications giants. And the show brings you everything that you need to know about the Super Falcons and even the Falconets, everything that revolves around the women's team of Nigeria. Now it's 10 days to the huge double clash between our Super Falcons and South Africa, and we continue our countdown to the Paris 2024 Olympics final round qualifiers. Now, to reiterate what I said last week, we said that the NFF have confirmed April 5th and 9th as the dates for the games, with the first leg at the MKO Stadium, Abuja, while the return leg will be held in Pretoria, South Africa. Ahead of these encounters, we take a look at what our Super Falcons stars, like history maker BFC's Asisat Oshoala, Atletico Madrid's Rashidat Ajibade, Uchenna Kano of Racing Louisville, and Paris FC's Chiamaka Nnadozie are doing at their clubs. But first, hold your breath. We'll take this really short break and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Ooh la la! What a save by Chiamaka Nnadozie for Paris FC in a league game. She's absolutely solid between the sticks. She always turns up. She always delivers. And you can feel that dance by Uchenna Kano. Come on, lovely shoulder shakes. Me also, I can't dance. If you want to see me dance, just maybe after the show, just, we'll arrange something between, MT and myself. We can just do maybe like a little, what should we call it now? A dance battle? A football dance battle? Anyways, remember that the conversation doesn't end here in the studio. It continues across all our social media platforms. It's MTN Nigeria on Facebook and YouTube, and it's MTN NG on Instagram and X, and of course our dedicated pages across all social media platforms, the Super Falcons Show. On our social media channels, we bring you up to speed on everything happening at the Super Falcons camp, sometimes even before they get on the show. Yes, so for first-hand information, follow us across all social media platforms. Now, moving on to the mix of things. Still on the countdown to the Super Falcons clash against South Africa in the fourth and final round of the Paris 2024 Olympics qualifiers on April 5th and 9th, we beam our focus on Agbabola and what she has been doing for her new club, Bay FC. They bagged the 9-1 with that. Bay FC, very smart club. Now, Bay FC in her first day of the new season of the National Women's Soccer League in the US. Now, incidentally, the 6-time African Women's Player of the Year would score the only goal that earned them a historic victory over host city rivals Angels FC at the PayPal Park, Los Angeles, California. Now, how was Asisat Oshoala celebrated with her teammates? Well, here it is.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too.
wow. Of course, that was a magnificent show by Agbabola. Hopefully, she can serve some of that spice, some of those electrifying goals in the Paris 2024 Olympic qualifiers. What do you think? Anyways, I'm rooting for Agbabola. I'm rooting for all of the girls on the Super Falcons squad. Now, that's the much that we can take for today on the MTN Super Falcons show. Remember, let me reiterate that the handles to follow are at MTNNG on Instagram and X, MTN Nigeria on Facebook and YouTube. Now, this show airs 9 a.m. every Tuesday on NTA, and in case you miss it, you can also catch it on MTN's Ayoba app. My name is Osarame Inekbanebo, and I am not alone in the studio. I've got the guys behind making things happen. My producer, Taya Ogunsheye, Bade, Jimmy, and Uche. Thank you all. Until I come your way in the very next episode, it's bye for now.
You're still watching Sports Reel on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. Now let's continue the show with football. This time around, let's talk about the men's national team, talking about the senior men's national team, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, who are getting set to take on their Malian counterparts later today in an international friendly. And of course, this is coming after the team defeated their Ghanaian opponents, talking about the Black Stars, 2-1 last Friday in an international friendly. And of course, Cyril Desas shot Nigeria into the lead in the first half from the penalty spot in that particular encounter before Ademola Lookman, sealed their victory with, a beautiful goal in the second half. And of course, just in the dying minutes, Osaye Samuel, Bright, pulled down one of the Ghanaian players and considered a penalty. Obviously, that ended 2-1 after the Ghanaians converted their penalty. 2-1 it ended for Nigeria, another Jollof derby, which went in favor of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Quite interesting. So today, it's not the battle between, it's not the battle of Jollof or anything. This time, it's the battle between Eagles. Talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Eagles of Mali. Which one is stronger? We're going to know at the end of the day. So all the best to the Super Eagles of Nigeria when it comes to that friendly encounter. All right, let's now return home now and talk about the Nigerian top flight, talking about the Nigeria Premier Football League. We got lots of interesting results last weekend on match day 27. Can you imagine? Lots of away wins. And of course, the biggest will be, Enugu Rangers recording a 2-1 away win over Heartland in an Oriental derby. And of course, that shot Enugu Rangers to the top of the MPFL standings. Interesting. Aqua United also gave their survivor bid a boost with a 2-1 win over Plateau United, and that was away. And of course, loads of other interesting results with Remo Stars beating Bendel Insurance Tunnel. Sporting Lagos lost to Kano Pillars. We got other interesting results last weekend. And another thing was the crowd we saw at so many centers is in Jos, or the Savannah Derby between Doma United and Gombe United, which ended 1-1. We saw the crowd there, and also in the Southwest, another game. Interesting to see the crowd at all those venues. So this wasn't manufactured or brought from anywhere. It's huge crowd when it comes to the MPFL. All right, with that, we've come to the end of Sports Reel this Tuesday. As always, I want to thank you for hanging out with us. Do not forget that NT Sports 24 is always there for you on Star Times and Free TV to enjoy unlimited sports content. Until next time I'll be on the show, just like I will always tell you, be yourself and never get yourself into trouble. I am Bade Adeleye, and I will see you next time.